Yeah, I'm actually getting really disenchanted with that music. I want clips. I want something cool in the beginning, but unfortunately, we're not the cool kids so far on this show because we've only had 6 episodes and we're just getting our feet wet, apparently. So I'm going to cut that one a little short. Joe and I were talking a little bit off air. The agenda of the show, I need to be a little bit more diligent about getting it out to those who are going to be on the show. Jeremy is going to join us at 12. He has more excuses as to why he can't make it. Joe's going to be coming in. Jason has something about the New York Knicks that really grinds his gears. But basically what I was saying was that I have to be more diligent. I sent the agenda out at like right around 3:20 in the morning, totally forgetting that the people on this show are such good radio hosts and sports people that they want to do a little bit of research first so that they know what they're talking about when the topics come up. So that I got to be a little bit more diligent about that. Joe will be stepping in here and joining in a second. Do we have Brianna with us? Am I talking to myself?
We do have Brianna. Hello.
Oh, well, hello there.
Well, good morning.
You've had your coffee, so you're...
oh, yeah, I had my coffee. I'm good to go.
A little
You need it on a gloomy Thursday morning.
Oh, it's gloomy out there?
Yeah, it's a little icky outside right now.
Okay. This is one of those days here where it's like, it's cloudy, but it's like bright. You know what I'm saying? It's like a bright cloudy.
That's
you go out
here, but we're supposed to get a little bit of rain, which sucks.
You don't like rain? No, right?
Huh?
It rains better than snow, right?
Well, yeah, but when it rains for a week straight, it's, annoying.
Very true, very true. Now, you guys didn't really get a winter out there, did you?
No, it was insane. It's colder now than it was for December.
Yeah, which is really weird. But then, but the winter, not this past one, obviously, but the one before, y'all got pounded out there, didn't you?
Yeah, we got a lot. Not this past winter, the winter before. It was just a snowstorm every other day.
Yeah, okay, yep. So that was the same here. I keep forgetting. See, Dustin's the one that's in Florida now. He lived in New Hampshire, but I keep forgetting that New York and Connecticut have basically the same weather. So I got to keep forgetting that because I'm like, oh, hey, yeah, remember, did you guys have that snowstorm? Yes, you're like 100 miles away, not even. Yes. So, all right. Joe, you back with us? Message and says I'm back, and then he's not back. Oh, wait.
He
Maybe
said he was back.
Is he back? Is he here?
Chris?
Yes.
Chris. Hey,
Hi.
What's up, my man? I was back. I heard you badmouthing me too. So.
Yeah. Well, yeah. you know those old people in technology. So
yeah, whatever.
We were talking a little bit about the weather, about how it's a little gloomy.
Here, right?
Well, y'all didn't really have snow up there, did you?
This past winter?
Yeah.
Man, it wasn't that bad. But I heard you guys talking about the previous winter, which was the worst winter of my life. I mean, and I've been through some bad ones up here. Brianna,
where was the worst winter in New England history, right?
Yeah, the most snow. I mean, it was the weirdest thing, man. Once I left my job on my birthday, January 22nd, and the night after that, we got a massive blizzard. So from that point on, through till like the first or second week of March, it just snowed every third day. A foot here, 18 inches there, 25 inches once in a while.
Every Monday we had a storm.
That's right, and school was canceled so much. It was the worst stretch of winter I've ever seen. It was horrendous. I've been through a few bad ones up here.
Well, I remember seeing the photos out there of like snow over the top of houses and things.
Oh, it was piled higher than I've ever seen it in all my life, higher than I've ever seen it. Because it snowed so much in a short period of time that it just piled up. I never had a chance to melt. You know, if you get a big snowstorm in December, over the course of a month, but this just all dumped on us within about 4 weeks. And it was, I mean, the place almost, the MBTA, the Green Line, shut down. I mean, things were shutting down left and right. You couldn't see around corners. My driveway, you couldn't see out of it. It was down to like the thinnest strip. It was rough, man. It was rough. A lot of people. That's why a lot of people move out of this area, and miss out on all the other great things.
Well, that's not the only reason, but that's maybe it's one of them. But
what are some of the other reasons? Off the top of your head.
That they move out of Massachusetts?
Yeah.
I don't know. Crazy laws, high taxes,
true.
regulation of everything.
Oh, don't get me started. I had a battle this morning.
The fact that you people can't drive.
No, we just drive really. No, we drive really, really well. It's the rest of the country that can't keep up.
You're awful drivers. Terrible.
I'm an excellent driver.
In fact, I would prefer to drive in Connecticut because in Connecticut they just drive fast. Okay. I noticed that in Connecticut, when you're either on 84 or 91 or one of those roads, I believe it's the one that runs from Hartford to Walker. Yeah, I believe that's
84.
84.
84. Yeah.
Yeah.
They just go like seriously. I was going like 75 or 80, and I was getting passed. Like they were like flicking me off.
Yeah.
What the hell are you going so slow for?
Right.
Whereas in Massachusetts, you guys have those weird like intersections where there's no light and no stop sign. It's just an intersection. You know, You know what I'm talking about? And there's there's parts like when I lived in Nashville, New Hampshire, I go down to Lowell on stuff for work, and there's just and sometimes when I'm driving like through Spencer and Webster and stuff when I'm going to Becker to play-by-play games. There's these intersections where there's no stop sign and there's no stop light. It's just a cross intersection. And one thing I noticed about you people too, I notice I say you people, is that when you try to be courteous in Massachusetts, and like let's say you do find a stop sign somewhere. Well, let's say you do find a stop sign somewhere in the state, and you you are sitting at a stop sign. You want to be courteous and wave one driver on. Oh, excuse me. Hold on a second. Sorry.
6 drivers will go. I'll finish the story for you because I know.
Exactly. Look at the intersection. There's like 4 or 5 cars. You wave one, they all go, and you're just there like, oh my God, why am I being nice? You know.
Driving in Massachusetts, listen, there are a lot of bad drivers, and I see them. The failure to use your turn signal in Massachusetts is rampant. I can't stand it.
That's a big one too, yeah.
I'm all about communicating to other drivers what I'm doing so no one will hit me. It's really important, I think, to communicate to the other cars, but Massachusetts, we're not too good at that. I take pride in it. I take pride in my driving. When you come to an intersection, it's first come, first serve. You have to, take turns, and not everyone really understands that. I get it. But you know what? One of the key things to survive on the Massachusetts road and thrive, you have to be assertive. You have to make your move and be clear about what you're doing. Don't go halfway, stop, wait, just make your frickin' move and go, and you'll be fine. Okay.
That's good to know. So I'm not fearing for my life this fall when I go out to Becker games out by Worcester. So another thing real quick, because we do have some sports, and I'm waiting on Jason, because Jason sent last night saying that he had a Grind My Gears thing that was actually sports related. So I'm just hoping that he calls in here. But if not, just go about schedule as normal. But I was going to say, Brianna, I was just back into the weather thing. Brianna's a little too young, I think, to remember it. But you mentioned the really bad storm, not this past winter, but the one before. Were you guys affected down there? I know in New Hampshire they had the quote-unquote ice storm of '08. Did you guys have that as well?
Yeah, I busted my butt walking to the school bus.
Okay, so you guys had it too. Okay, so...
Yeah, it was so bad that it was just like, it was ice over the snow, so they really couldn't plow it well. So we were trying to walk through, like, people's yards to get to the school bus. I was only in, I think I was in 7th grade. That sounds about right. But I remember I took one step, and I'm looking up at the clouds, and I'm thinking to myself, oh, my God.
I was in 7th grade in '02. Oh my God. Actually, no.
Yeah.
01. Oh my God. I'm so old. But so you okay? So you fell. You didn't get hurt though, did you?
Oh, I smacked my head pretty good, but I was fine.
Oh, well, that explains a lot then. Okay. Real quick, I was going to ask one other thing here. We sort of know Joe a little bit. Jesse, I don't know where he is. He's hard to get a hold of all of a sudden. I don't know what's going on. As I said, Jeremy has another excuse as to why he can't be on until 12 o'clock, but that's all cool because, I know Jeremy, and I know that he has a pretty hectic life. Probably had to go find a different fast food place somewhere. And then Jason said he's calling. That's fine. That's cool. Yeah, so right now it's a 3-person crew. And we can jump into this here. Let me refresh the page here because for some reason
let's do this sports roundup thing.
Yeah.
Well, I see the Warriors evened it up last night. They smoked the Thunder. I don't think anybody was surprised by that.
I don't know if you can call it smoked.
What was the final score?
118-1. But it was close. It was close for a while.
All right. Well, I picked it up in the fourth quarter and saw the lead, and I figured that the smoking had been going on.
Well, no. It was an okay game for a while. I mean, yes, the Warriors were in control for a good portion of it, but it was definitely the Warriors' game to win, and they needed it at home. They hadn't lost back-to-back games at home in 2 years, and now they weren't going to let it happen now. But I think the bigger NBA story here is Phil Jackson and the New York Knicks. They had the option and the ability to go out and get a Vogel, a Kurt Rambis, somebody which I didn't really want Rambis there, but they had another option for even David Blatt, the one who was run out of Cleveland there by LeBron. Any of those options, in my opinion, would have been better than Jeff Hornacek. I don't even think Hornacek was that great of a player, much less a coach. And you look at what he did in Phoenix. I mean, he was 1-0. I believe I have the record here on paper. Yeah, 101 and 112 in 2.5 years as the Suns' head coach. He had a terrible first season, and then sort of almost brought them to the playoffs the next year. A majority of that was without Eric Bledsoe, which is the star player out there in Phoenix. So he has a track record of sort of turning bad teams around. But if you're the New York Knicks and you have Phil Jackson and you play in the New York market, you needed a splash pick here. You needed a boom sort of a pick. This is a very blah pick. This is a very average coaching selection here. And the New York Knicks, where they're at right now, can't afford to be average. They can't afford to have average coaching and average management and average players. This is a team and a city that wants to win now. And you've got Carmelo Anthony, arguably a top 10 player in the league, and he's getting older. Your opportunity to pretty soon this Knicks team's going to lose Carmelo too. Then they'll be really screwed. So I mean, what do you feel about this possible hiring here?
Well, I'll tell you what I feel. You say that Boston's similar to New York with the coaching hires and what you say about having a splash hiring.
Well, they're both win now cities. They both want to win.
Right.
Like neither city, Boston, New York, want to have quote unquote rebuilding years. They both want to win.
Exactly.
Right now.
Exactly. And I've seen splash hirings in this market before. The most recent one was a miserable failure. Bobby Valentine of the Red Sox in 2012.
The old Mets coach. The
old Mets coach. The guy was. I think he'd actually started to go insane right around that time because some of the stuff he said and did was not the actions and words of a sane man. So that was and they won 69 games that year. It was an abject disaster failure. But he was hired. Now it's never, was never admitted by Larry Lucchino at the time or anything like that. But because of the name. and they wanted ratings, and that's why they brought in Carl Crawford and Adrian Gonzalez. The ratings had plummeted for a couple of years, so they made some splash moves, and the splash hiring was Bobby Valentine. Now, if I look at the Hornacek, it's not a splash. The Hornacek potential hiring, it's not a splash hiring, which means that maybe it's a good hiring because they're not hiring somebody for their name like Vogel or Blatt or Rambis or whatever. Maybe they're hiring Hornacek because they actually think can bring to the team will actually improve the team rather than, be the big name, et cetera. And what I saw this morning, a write-up about Hornacek, was his time in Phoenix. His offense was a faster pace offense that had a lot more three-point attempts in the offense than at least what the Knicks triangle offense has. So perhaps they're looking at that and the way the game is going with, the Splash Brothers, the three-point shooting, Curry, et cetera. Maybe that's what they're looking at with Hornacek.
And the fact that Hornacek will probably run the triangle like Phil wants him to run.
They said he doesn't have to. They said he doesn't have to here.
You know what Phil Jackson wants to. But here's the thing with Phil Jackson. I know a lot of Knicks fans are up in arms right now about this. Phil Jackson, you want to talk about going insane or going senile? Phil Jackson could go insane or could be going insane or going senile here. I mean, you're looking at this, and everybody's like, you came in to fix this team. And what has he done? I mean, he's done nothing. He's done nothing. And
here's my question, Chris. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, well, I was going to say, Jackson, they all give him, a lot of people are giving him the best coach ever tag.
I never bought it either.
Dude had Jordan and Kobe.
And Shaq.
I mean, and Shaq. And then whatever those Bulls teams with Pippen and those loaded. I mean,
and Kerr.
You could have a mannequin. A mannequin could have coached those teams to the finals. So
exactly,
I don't necessarily think him and his coaching ability. I think it's the fact that he just had some of the best teams in history that he got lucky enough to be the front man for.
That's right,
that's
man.
What it's got.
What is he? Yeah. Why are his qualifications? What are his qualifications to be a team builder? To be a GM, to be an executive. I don't know his exact title there, but
I don't know, like you 8 rings.
Yeah, one with
like that.
Jordan and Kobe. Two of the greatest, you know what I mean? Just what you said.
Yeah.
Those are his qualifications. I never bought into Phil Jackson being a great coach. I bought into him being a great motivator in the right circumstance with veterans, with huge egos, and he got great results in those circumstances. He has to get credit for that, without a doubt. But look at it for what it is. He's not, the triangle offense, it was successful under Jordan, but have we seen it flourish anywhere else? Was it really successful with the Lakers? I don't know. With Kobe and Shaq, you could run any offense and it would probably be pretty damn successful. You know what I mean? So what is, where are his great coaching chops? Where does he, I agree with you. It's just the rings are more product, I think, of the players he had and his ability to motivate them and keep them all on the same page. Yes. But a great coach? Nah, I'm not so sure.
Now, Brianna, where you live, a lot of New York sports fans, period, right? Not just Knicks or whatever. It's a lot of New York, or are you mixed?
Yep. No, it's where I am. I'm about 10 minutes away from Brewster, so it's more just New York than anything.
Oh, you're right over the border from Brewster. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, they don't really talk like they actually talk normal down there, but I did a hockey play-by-play for the EHL, like junior hockey league stuff in the Brewster Arena, actually. So that's kind of cool. Oh, wait, so you're in Danbury?
Yeah, I'm right next to Danbury.
And then your college that you went to was in Danbury?
Yep.
Okay, so you didn't go very far from home to go to college for the first year, a couple years.
No, I went very far the first time. I went down to Coastal Carolina and then transferred home.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that you went there first. Oh. The Chanticleers down there. Yeah.
Yep.
Nice. Yes. I actually know random sports team names and weird things like that. So I know that they were like teal and blue. I had a couple buddies from high school that went to Coastal Carolina, and big party school, I heard.
Oh, yeah.
Why did you transfer back then? You got nice weather. You've got,
I know.
party
I
school
absolutely
atmosphere.
loved it. I didn't like the program that I was in at first because I wasn't initially a journalism major. I wanted to be a history major and go into teaching, but it was just in shambles, that program. So I was like, you know what, I'm not going to waste my time.
Oh, so then you came back, and then what made you switch into wanting to do this?
I wasn't really sure if I still wanted to go into teaching because that's something I've always said I want to do my whole life. But I got down there, and I was like, you know what, maybe this isn't the right thing to do. So I started talking with my parents, and my dad was like, why don't you just go into sports broadcasting? You know what the hell you're talking about. You're good at it, and why not do it? I was like, you know what?
Well, that's always sort of been a side passion of yours, sort of. That's always sort of been something that you were interested in, but never really thought about as a career. Right?
Yeah, well, just because I can go around and just name random sports facts. Not something a normal girl would know, but I can also just hop into conversations with guys, and they're just astonished because I actually know what the hell I'm talking about. So.
Okay, nice. Well, I'm going to give them some free promotion here. If you want to, whether during the summertime or when you get out at now Sacred Heart that you'll be at in the fall, you should check out Connecticut School of Broadcasting in Farmington. There's also campuses up and down the coast. Stratford, I think there's one in Stratford, Mass. There's another one in Connecticut. I can't remember where. And then it's up and down the East Coast. But yeah, the one in Farmington is the headquarter one. It's awesome. It's an 8-week program, so it's not anything that's it's going to really a huge time commitment. But what I liked about CSB, because I wasn't sure either. Like I said, we'll get back into the sports conversation, but I just she got me onto this now. So, well, I wasn't quite sure either. Like I said, I came out of Hartford College. I had the bachelor's in broadcast journalism. I knew I wanted to do that, but what was I doing? I was selling cars. So I was like, what the hell did my bachelor's get me? So when I went to CSB, the cool thing about it was that it was, instead of having professors teach you, and instead of having men and women who went to school solely, and got 4 or 5 different degrees solely to teach you out of a textbook and grade papers, these were people that were in the field. Like, to give you an example, I had a professor there who worked at ESPN, worked there, he was on TV that morning, okay? He worked at ESPN and then came over, taught a class, and then went back to work. Okay, so they were people that are in the industry every day. They actually work there, and then they just make time to come over and do a class, and then they go back. So it's one of those things where they get to teach you the real-time experience, but not only that, but you get to make connections. So you get to meet these people, and then what do you do? Well, you get in good with them. You give them a resume. You give them a demo. You get this. You get that. Well, another that's cool thing about it is they teach you all facets. They teach you music radio. So if you wanted to be like a music radio DJ, I put together a what's called an air check for that, and I can actually upload that and play it and show you what my final for CSB if you want. But there's that. They teach you TV. Then, Brianna, you mentioned you were a big TV person at one point. Wanted to maybe do an anchoring. You actually do a final newscast, and everybody has their own role in the final newscast, whether it's behind the scenes or on air or whatever it would be. They also do a final radio show, as well as they teach you. So they teach you TV, radio, and behind the scenes technical stuff. So I definitely think it's a really cool thing, something I would definitely recommend. But I went off on this tangent solely because I was going to ask. So you're in Connecticut, and has anybody down there? I know it's new. It's new news, but has anybody down there mentioned anything about this Phil Jackson debacle in New York? Have you heard any ramblings or rumblings in this case from anybody, whether they're at bars or wherever they may be at, about Phil Jackson basically doing nothing in New York?
I saw, that's a whole new coach. I saw a few Facebook posts last night, and they did not seem too happy. But yeah, once in a while, we'll just be walking downtown or in the mall or something like that, and we'll hear these 2 old Knicks fans, these 2 guys that are always sitting there in the mall for lunch every day when I go to work. and they've got their caps on and everything, and they're always talking about him, about how, he was a good coach, but he's a terrible GM or whatever, and how basically they're just not happy with the production of the Knicks after he came in, which is not really anything I'm surprised about, because really what have they done since he got there? But
They're two older gentlemen?
Yeah, these two older guys, yeah.
Okay.
And then, but just like the Facebook post last night, they did not seem like they're happy with anything that's going on down there. So.
Do you follow a lot of what the Knicks do? I'm a Celtics fan like Joe and I, but.
No, not really.
If
it's like something big, I'll read up on it, but not like.
Would you have?
I keep up with.
Well, obviously, when you look at the higher potential here, obviously David Blatt. I didn't want Blatt in New York either, because I just know that his name was basically shamed by LeBron James, and he's now become sort of a coaching pariah. I didn't want that. I didn't want Rambis, because of he's basically a puppet for Jackson, and he's going to do whatever Phil Jackson wants to do. I didn't know Hornacek was still even an option. I had forgotten he was out there. I really thought the Knicks were going to try to maybe go after Frank Vogel, and that would have been the big one. Now, again, I don't really care. Like I said, we have our coach, Brad Stevens, and we're trending upward. So, I'm not super upset about this. I actually kind of want the Knicks to stay in the basement for my own personal vendetta reasons, but I don't get. I think I'm just more so scratching my head at the hire than anything else. Or actually, they haven't hired him yet, but they're poised to hire him. I think it's more I'm scratching my head than anything else. This was supposed to be a segue into Jason ranting about this, but I'm trying to get him on the line. So we'll just jump into the next NBA topic for a second before he gets here, and then we can always back. We still got like an hour and a half left. My question then, Joe and Brianna, the NBA lottery system, because the Knicks are one of those teams that the last couple of years have been a qualifier for the lottery system. But then you see teams like the Celtics this year. Now, I know it was a product of a trade. Sure, I understand that. But the Celtics are a playoff team and have the third overall pick. So it's like, what needs to change with the lottery system? Because I know a lot of you. I was reading the group chat you guys were having off the air, and a lot of you were kind of saying, "Oh, this is BS with the 76ers getting the first pick." Isn't that what's supposed to happen? A team that wins 9 games all year is supposed to have the first pick. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. It worked out right, in my opinion.
Why was everybody bitching in the chat room?
It wasn't me.
Yeah, I'm gonna go on and see who that was, because I think that it was that's how it's supposed to happen. That's how every other sport does it. The worst team is able to. Let me go on here and check.
And that's why I think the NBA should go to that system. I mean, it worked out, correctly this time around. But here, why does chance have to be part of it? You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand why does the element of chance have to play into something that's this important? It's the friggin' NBA. We're not playing tiddlywinks here. Millions of dollars are being waged. People's lives and organizations' futures are riding on these picks. And why does chance have to be part of the equation? Why don't we rationalize the system, make it like the NFL, make it like the NHL, and the last place gets top pick, second to last gets the second pick, and so on. It just happened to work out well this year. Great. But why the element of chance anyway? Why is that in there? That's my question. Get rid of it. It doesn't need to be.
Well, I think it's something that they've had for a little while. I mean, they wanted to be different with their lottery system. They thought it was pretty and all that. But really, it's what have lottery picks done? I mean, the unanimous Rookie of the Year, Karl Anthony Towns, plays in Minnesota, where half the country's not even going to get to see his games. And I just think that, yeah, why not just do what NBA does, or what NFL does, and have them go in order of record, whatever their record is, And then if there's trades and things like that, sure, why not? Big deal. But
Right.
just go in order of record. Worst team first, best team, NBA champion last, and boom. Oh, actually,
so
isn't the draft before the finals ends though?
The draft is June 10th, I want to say. I might be wrong. June 20th.
I think the draft happens before the finals ends, though. I believe. So maybe you can't necessarily do it via order. Yeah.
Well, they should have the draft they should have the draft after the finals to continue the NBA season and keep getting ratings. Why do it in the middle of the finals or the semi? You know what I mean?
This is the same organization that gives out the MVP award in the first round of the playoffs.
Right. Yeah.
So let's not look at this here. I'm trying to find the lottery results here.
So you say they wanted to be different. That's why they put in chance.
I would think so. I mean,
how far back do we go here? I remember the 80s. The first draft I remember really is the '87 draft when Len Bias died for the Celtics. That's the first time I ever tuned into the draft.
Well, you look at this here. You look at this here, and you've got the draft lottery right now. Obviously, the 76ers are. I mean, this is pretty much. See, they tend to want to change, but it pretty much worked out. It should have worked out record-wise. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the 76ers pick. Lakers have the second pick. Brooklyn had the third, but now it's Boston because of that trade where they just basically gave all the picks for the foreseeable future. So it's a good thing in that sense, and I think the reason why it worked out this way was because the 76ers were so bad that they the worse you are, the more ping pong balls you get. So the more, I guess, probability per se of having your name be pulled up second, third, whatever it might be, is the case. So I think that that's probably why it worked out, because those teams were just so historically bad this year. But another thing though is I know that there's they lock in things before the lottery. So for instance, it's not mathematically possible for this team that they could be the first, the second, or the fifth pick, but they can't mathematically be the third pick or something like that. I don't know why you hear that every year with the lottery. It's like, okay, well, they can't be the fourth pick. They can be 1 through 3, or they can be 5. And I'm just sitting there like, how is that? I mean, if the dude pulls up the ball fourth, he pulls up the ball fourth. Like, what?
Yeah.
I don't know. They make the draft so confusing, quite frankly, that I don't know. And plus, I have the beef with we talked a little bit about it on Tuesday, the whole one and done thing in the NBA, and drafting on potential instead of drafting on raw talent, and that's sort of what gets to me also. And that's sort of what I was going with the rant with Brianna before. What I was going to say, Brianna, do you play sports in college?
No, I like club sports, but not actual division sports, which I wish I did, but a little late for that now.
No, not really. Not. I mean,
well,
you're only going into junior year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you got time. But anyway, you're going from a D3 school to a D1 school, and I think it's kind of interesting because, well, first of all, Western Connecticut State, my buddy is a defensive coordinator for my alma mater there at Hartwick, and they've played you guys in football several times in the last couple of years, and they're opening the season with you again now this year. But I think it's interesting when you look at the fact that the NCAA allows these players to go one and done in basketball. They draft off of potential. Okay, but so let's say you're a student who likes sports. You don't necessarily play a sport, but you do enjoy sports. You play club sports. You do this. You do that. Let's say you went to a bigger school. Let's just say Brianna plopped herself down at Duke or something like that. Let's just say, okay, you're kind of busting your butt. You're going to school. You're doing club sports, but you're working on your major. You're just basically being a normal college student. You have to do your homework just like everybody else. Take your tests. You have to do all this. You get an NBA player, a prospective NBA player who comes in there in the fall, same year as you, okay, going to classes. You're going to classes. They're not. Okay, you're busting your butt. They're writing one paper all semester that gets, graded. Basically, it's bias grading. They never have to go to class, and they become a superstar celebrity on campus. Meanwhile, their head count's never there, their work's never done, and nothing happens. But yet, you have the potential to possibly fail out of school if you miss, a couple papers, or if you get a cold or pneumonia or something. So I would feel like from a college athlete standpoint, how is what the NBA is doing by allowing, students to leave after 1 year? How is that helping colleges? Is it? I mean, can you see how that is helping? I think that. Do you feel they should just let them go out of high school? Because basically right now they're just taking class spots away from normal students like you.
I don't think it's helping at all, to be honest with you, because what's really, I agree, what really is the point of spending all this money on a kid who's going to come in and, play for a year? I don't really want to knock student athletes because I know how hard it is. Even in high school it was hard, so I can only imagine how hard it is in college, especially when you're playing for, a big, well-known team, like, say, Duke basketball. I know how hard that is. But, I mean, just to, kind of skate through academically when there's people, like you said, fighting to stay in school, when they have jobs, they may have kids, plus a whole course load. I mean, it's a lot. So it's really, in that sense, not fair to the people who are actually working hard. But at the same time, like I said, I don't really want to knock student athletes because I was one. My boyfriend is one, and a couple friends of mine are. And so I know what they're going through, but it doesn't really make sense to just, if they're just going to come in for a year,
I'm not saying student athletes
for a year.
Well, I'm not saying student athletes need to be knocked, because I was one as well. My point is, with the NBA, that's a different animal. When you're a quote unquote student athlete that wants to go to the NBA, because there have been studies. Now, I'm not saying that this is every single student that runs into this, but there have been a lot of academic issues with schools getting sanctions and suspensions and things like that, because basically students, these guys, okay, it's an NBA factory, basically. And these guys, they don't necessarily have to go to class. Everything is tutored. Everything is done for them. They're basically brought in there. They stay for 6 months. Once the basketball season is over, they basically disappear from campus. So it's like these guys aren't your prototypical student athletes, right? But how does that help the integrity of a college? Like I don't know, Brianna, if you've noticed or if you've read the news stories at all, or you've seen anything regarding this UNC thing that's going on. But basically at UNC, these students, what we're being accused of right now is the basketball program is being accused of having athletes between, I don't know what years, certain years here, being accused of taking fake classes and turning in fake classes. Basically, what they did was there was an African studies program, quote unquote, that they were apparently taking that the school doesn't offer. And it's such a big school that the registrar can't keep track of everything. So the coaching staffs and the advisors, coaching staffs for basketball are turning in these grades, okay, of courses that the school doesn't even offer, in order to keep their players, quote unquote, academically eligible to stay on the floor. But it's like, how is that right at all? Then there's also times that I've read from UNC that the players have to come in, they write a paper that's a paragraph long, okay, and that's their paper. Whereas everybody else, you, me, anybody else, is writing a 10-page paper, and getting graded tougher on it. But they want to keep them on the floor because they make the school money and they sell tickets, and that is what people know during those months of the year. They know, okay, UNC basketball or Duke basketball or whatever basketball, this is their thing. So that's really what I'm saying, is that the NBA is creating a culture here of student athletes who aren't. You can take the student part out of it, they're basically just renting these athletes for 6 months, and then shipping them off into the combine, and boom, c'est la vie. Now, another thing that happens here is the NBA just made the rule that says, okay, if a player doesn't like his draft valuation, he can go back to school, okay, as long as he doesn't sign an agent. So, because before, as soon as you declared for the draft, you were done. Now you can go through the combine process. You can get your evaluation. If you don't like it, you're eligible to come back and miss time. Okay, blah, blah, blah. But what's the NBA doing now? Oh, well, we think you're going to be a first-round pick. You've got potential. Yeah, well, definitely, man. We grade you. Every single player that has had that opportunity this year has been told, oh, yeah, you got first-round potential. Well, what happens when you tell an 18-year-old kid he has first-round potential? Cha-ching! Dollar signs just show up, okay, in their eyes. Now, half of them are going to get drafted in the second round, end up in the D League, and fade into the abyss. Okay, some of them are going to go to Europe. Very few of these 18-year-old kids with these dollar sign eyes are going to end up actually being factors and contributors in the NBA. So I think from an academic standpoint, from an age standpoint, from just all the way around, the draft lottery and the draft in general for the NBA and some of the policies really just need to be examined, because and that's sort of why I like to bring this up, because Brianna, you're a college athlete, you're a college student, you were a college athlete. How is that from a college standpoint? When you're going to get your academics, you're going to do this, and there was a study that showed. I'm not going to say what school it is because I don't want freaking, I don't want lawsuits left and right. But I will send you the article in the chat box. There is a school that had a test done for their football team. Okay, and this is a big time major college in this country, a major well-known institution. Their football team, on average, was reading at a 4th to 8th grade level, on average. A college football team at a major institution in this country. Because
that's embarrassing.
Those same players, 6 or 7 to the NFL that year. So that's all they care about when you're an athlete like this. Same thing with basketball. Those examples that I was just giving out. These schools get in trouble because they end up getting caught because there's a whistleblower somewhere in there, but these programs end up not, they have different practices. These players don't have to go to class. They don't have to do, their work. They're basically there to play basketball. It's almost like they're professionals already, and they're just renting a dorm room, basically is what it is. It's kind of sad as well, which is why I'm thinking, all right, you know what? Just let them go out of high school, because you're not doing the college any favors. Yeah, you're bringing the college money, sure. You're bringing the college money. You're bringing them revenue. You're selling tickets. You're selling jerseys. People are knowing the name of the school. You get people. Back when John Wall played at Kentucky, you had kids walking around here in upstate New York with John Wall Kentucky jerseys on because that was the thing. So I understand that. But you're not academically doing anything. You look at the gocollegeboard.com and look at these major powerhouse schools and look at the requirements to get in. Okay, the only ones that still have big requirements right now are like Duke and Notre Dame and like the traditionals. But if you're a normal student now, they've had to lower the bar for everything because academically these athletes just. They're not held to the same standard, and I think that's sad because Brianna and I would be, because we're athletes. We're not going professional. I mean, I played Division III. Well, we were Division II when I went there, but they're Division III now. Okay, they're not ever gonna put anybody in the pros. In fact, we had one player on my college's football team that was invited to the combine. What's he doing now? Well, he's playing in the Arena League. Okay, he went to Canada for a while. He's playing in the Arena League. But so I think that the NCAA really needs to get this too, and the NBA needs to really strongly evaluate and examine and say, you know what, we're either going to allow you to come out of college, or you got to stay all 4 years, or at least 3, because, like I said, this is one. It ruins programs. You know, teams will be good 1 year, then they'll lose their whole team. You know, and including the freshmen, and then have to completely rebuild. And also, these students are coming in for 6 months of the year, and then they're out. I mean, Joe, do you understand? Like how is this helping? How is what the NBA is doing by basically plucking these kids and saying, okay, you have to go to a college institution for 1 year, but they're not going to college. They're having the college experience by drinking and partying and having a good time, yes, but they're not having the college experience academically.
No, absolutely not. None of these kids have any intention, I think, of
I think
getting
these kids
a
would be
college
perfectly
education.
fine going out of high school. I don't think any of them really care if they go to college or not.
No. It's really, I think this was mentioned on our previous show. It's just a chance for them for the universities to make money, for the NCAA to make money off of them. It's really all that 1 year is, isn't it? I mean, they're not getting an education. There's no point. I see no point to that rule. You have to go to school for 1 year. What's the rationale? What was the reason behind that in the first place? Why did they? Was it some sanctimonious, get them educated, like 1 year? Really?
Well,
I forget why they reinstituted that, but.
I'll look it up here.
Because it smacks of exploitation. Just give us a chance to exploit them for a year, can you please? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Whereas,
right.
You got an 18-year-old kid who's ready for the NBA. You're just costing him money, is all you're doing, or you're delaying, and a lot of these kids come from, less fortunate backgrounds, and that money is really important to them and their family. And the NCAA says, you got to wait a year for it. You got to come to our school so we can exploit you for a year, then you can get paid. The NCAA is, in my opinion,
we knew
disgusting.
that they were a business. We knew there's a lot of things that they do that is questionable. I'm looking here at let's see here. I got the big old ESPN article up. Let's see. Well, Kevin Garnett. Kevin Garnett came out of high school.
Right.
Kobe came out of high school. LeBron James came out of high school.
Was the last one? Who was the last one?
LeBron. Or Le Douche, as Dustin calls him. Damian.
Well, that worked out pretty well. What was the problem? What was I think, if I recall, there was too many kids were coming out of high school, and there was some backlash. They need to get some college education, so maybe there was a compromise that, okay, we'll make sure that they at least get 1 year of education, which is a joke.
Well, it's funny because Mike Krzyzewski, okay, who's a huge name in college basketball, as a Duke coach. Mike Krzyzewski says that players who go pro after one season add to the instability that the sport has experienced in recent years, which is sort of what I'm touching on. He says, and I quote, this is a Mike Krzyzewski quote, he says here, what it has produced is one and done for kids who are not going pro. The amount of transfers we have in basketball, there are over 450 transfers. Kids don't stick to the school that they pick, and they want instant gratification, Krzyzewski wrote via email. It's not just those elite players that might be able to go after 1 year. There's just the mentality out there that if you don't achieve after 1 year, maybe you should go someplace else. For the one-and-done guy, it's the NBA, but for other kids, it's potentially another school. So these kids, they all have visions of grandeur. They all feel like they're going to be NBA talent, and it's messing up a lot of these programs, these college basketball programs, who have a guy for 1 year and then don't, and are in a constant state of rebuilding because they can never keep a kid for longer than 2 years.
Well, what Mike Krzyzewski said there is it's messing up. Did I hear it correctly? It's messing up the system, having all these transfers. So kids who play at one school and don't get the playing time, let's say, that they think they deserve to display their talent.
Get the notoriety, yeah.
and don't get the notoriety. So let me transfer to this school. Oh, it didn't happen here. Let me transfer to that school. Well, is that such a bother to you, Mike Krzyzewski, that kids are looking for the right opportunity? They're gonna, you know what? It's up to them. You know, they're 18. They're adults. Okay. If they're good enough, they'll make the NBA. Okay, one way or another. You know, for the most part. It's going to come out in the wash, is what I'm saying with these kids who are. What I'm getting at is it that big of a problem? Is it that big of a hassle for you coaches and you athletic directors to deal with all these transfers? Oh, I'm sorry, kids are trying to make a future for themselves and get and grab the golden, the golden goose and make some money, you know. But it's a hassle for you. That's what I got out of that.
It is when you bring a team in, okay, and these coaches, from a coaching standpoint, they know when a kid is ready, when a kid is not, okay. But unfortunately, there's nothing that a coach can do, because if a coach tells them, no, I don't think you're ready, listen, I think you should stay, then they get hit with tampering and they get hit with, you know, all those big words, whatever.
Sure.
So I think it's one of those things where coaches know if a player's ready, for sure. Coach knows if a player's ready. That's his job to know coach. And I think that what will happen is there's a lot that goes into coaching. Hell, my coach was a Division III coach, okay, and I used to remember sitting in the office when he did a recruiting phone call, and my buddy is like I said, is a coach he's a defensive coordinator for Division III, okay, and he is even able to, you know, the things that he has to do, constant on the road, never has time, this and that. And I'm just like, wow, you know, that all that work goes into bringing these kids in, all that work towards, you know, okay, you lost to this school, but you got him and that school. And then you have to work on financial aid, and you got to work on this, you got to work on that. And you're building relationships with these kids and bringing these kids in. And then they end up leaving after 1 year, and you got to do it all again.
Sure, it sucks.
You know, and yeah, of course it does. So, let me see. So you can hear me, huh? Okay, because phone crapped out, no calls are going through, everything was fine. Oh, so Brianna's phone.
She's still on the phone.
That's because she has an iPhone. That's because
so do I.
Is
but I don't use it. Yeah.
Exactly. That's why she needs a microphone. Call back in. I want your take on this as a college student. Okay.
Come on back,
so,
Greg.
Yeah. But either way, we can hold the show. Jason's gonna be calling in after 12 o'clock. But you know what I'm saying? So I mean I was a college athlete. I played basketball, and I like the camaraderie of having, you know, somebody there for 4 years. I like the ability to, you know, if I was a coach, I fully understand why you want to build a team, why you want to, you know, get the players that you want. You want to build a system. I mean, guys like Krzyzewski, those are 20, 30, 40-year coaches. I mean, those are guys who know how to build a team, know how to build chemistry, know when players are ready. This whole one-and-done thing never used to happen. I mean, this is a new phenomenon within the last 20 years or so.
20, 30.
And, and coaches like that, they're not used to it. In fact, I remember Bo Ryan with Wisconsin when they lost in the title game to Duke, and Duke had a couple guys who were freshmen who were going that year. I believe Joe Okafor being the biggest of those names. And he mentioned something about, well, we don't run the rent-a-player philosophy. So that was his sort of shot at that system, because he had two guys going, Sam Decker and Frank Kaminsky, both were seniors.
Mm-hmm.
So it was different.
Well, Chris, are you anti, where do you stand? Like, do you want them to, we all would like them to spend more time in college. That's, I think, is a given. But I personally am against any kind of regulation around how long they should stay, or if they should even have to go to college. Where do you stand on that? I'm not clear about where. Do you want them to have a regulation? Because you sound like you're arguing in favor of them having to stay in school for a few years for the, stability of the team and, coach building a plan, etc. But I'm not sure.
I'm in favor of if they're good enough out of high school. Okay, if they are LeBron James or Kobe Bryant out of high school, let them go out of high school. Okay, because those players aren't getting any better in college. They're just plateauing in college. They were a star in high school, now they're a star in college. Okay?
Right.
But if they, so just let them go. Don't take up a classroom space. Don't take up a scholarship space. Don't have them basically just walk around campus with their head in the clouds for 6 months and then be gone. Let them just go to the NBA and make their money at 18. Because basically, like you said, they're just delaying the inevitable. They're going anyway. But if there's a player that's borderline, I think, yeah, okay, go to college, go play. If you're good enough to get a scholarship somewhere, go play, and boom, But if you're on the edge, if you are good enough to go to the NBA, but you're not a superstar and you might be a later round pick, you might be this, you might be that, stay, man. Get your education, because think about it. You're not going to be a pro athlete your whole life. Okay, you're not going to be, I think this works more with football than it does with basketball, because usually football careers are shorter than basketball. But you're not going to be an athlete your whole life. You're going to need that degree when you're done, or you're going to need to get your academics. You're going to need to be smart. You're going to need to, I mean, like that story, and I'll send you the story, Joe, separately off the air so you can read it. Is a story of these football players on a major college institution level that were reading at a 4th grade to 8th grade level. Okay, basically what these players were brought in to do was play football, win games, and go to the NFL. That's what they care about. And it's the same thing with basketball. Players have to do their work. They don't have to do schoolwork. I think that if they are going to be groomed from the moment they step on campus to go to the NBA, why bother going to campus? Just go straight to the NBA if you're good enough,
Totally.
or at least go to the lottery, go to the D League, go to whatever. But the fact is that these guys, they're not student athletes; they're athletes.
Right.
Okay, because there's no student part of this at all. They're rent a dorm room like you rent a hostel on vacation. Okay, so I mean that's what it is. I mean,
so what's the point of going to school anyway? All right, it sounds to me like, Chris, if a kid isn't at 18 NBA ready and isn't ready to make that jump right away and does go to school, those kids, they all have NBA dreams, okay? Every one of them thinks they're going to make the NBA.
Basketball in their driveway at 8 years old has NBA dreams, I think, but it's just not realistic for everybody.
Right, but tell that to the kid. If he's a freshman at such and such university and he thinks he could play in the NBA next year and make millions of dollars, you think he's going to – most kids aren't going to say, let me stick around for another year or two to improve my education, because that's not what they're there for. So to think that they're just going to stay because it's the right thing to do, few and far between will ever make that choice. So,
but why do they? But that's the thing, though. Like, why? Why do they have to go to college? If a player wants to have, they are totally strong-armed right now in saying you have to pick a college institution. You cannot come out of high school. And it doesn't matter what. Yeah, it doesn't matter what college institution it is. You have to pick one, and I think that is what is wrong with it, because basically the school is hurting from this academically, of course, and it just sets up scandals. It sets up the possibility of having scandals, academic scandals, and illegal player benefit scandals, things like that. It's just setting them up to fail. But we got Jeremy on the line with us. But Brianna, you're a college student. I know. Hi, Jeremy. How are you?
What's up, Jeremy?
How are you doing, sir? How are you doing, Joe?
Good, you?
We're doing good. We're doing good. We were just sort of talking a little bit about the NBA and how it's a sham and how students the lottery
one and done
system.
rule.
The one and done rule. Yeah.
Where do you stand on that, Jeremy?
All right, listen. I'm a big college basketball fan, and I personally think
right?
You bet, baby. I think it's killing the college basketball, man. It's such a waste of time. Dude, Ben Simmons should never went to college. That was a waste of time. He didn't even go to class after, like, the first semester.
I know. I heard that last night.
Yeah.
The other night.
So it's like, what's the? I don't understand how this helps both sports. I'm really mystified by this. You know, if they have the talent and they're out of high school, just let them go.
Right.
It's hurting the college game. It's not making
football,
it better.
I understand.
Yeah, football,
Football,
of
I
course.
understand because you're not going to have an 18-year-old kid go to the NFL and get
No,
his head taken off.
you can't even compare the two. Yeah, you can't.
A kid would die on the field at 18.
Right. Some 18-year-old kid out of college, out of high school, ain't going to jump to the NFL.
But basketball is not going to make a difference if you're 18 or 22. It really doesn't make a difference.
No. It's just I think that a lot of things has to do with the coaches too. You know, Calipari brings all these one-and-done kids in from Kentucky. He builds the program up. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just an NBA factory.
Yeah, and then it's gone. Like he got Anthony Davis a couple years ago. They won the title, and that was it. You know, he brings all these Jamal Murray there and Tyler. He actually waited 2 years, which I'm stunned. You know, I hate it. I hate it. I don't have enough time to go into this because I'm going to kill myself. So go ahead.
Well, you know what? Jeremy, I agree with you. No, certainly not.
Yeah.
And I think the one and done rule is just an opportunity for universities to
make money.
Exploit the kids. Give us a year to exploit them, please. Allow us to exploit these teenagers for a year. Just
Absolutely. Now, as a UConn fan, I've been lucky that I've only seen like Andre Drummond should have never went to college. That was a waste of time. He actually was terrible at UConn. Yeah, well, Kemba Walker played 3 years, so I'm happy about that.
He went 3? I thought he wasn't.
Yeah. No, he wasn't. No. Yeah.
Well, why did I not know that? Huh.
Because you're not a UConn fan. But like Andre Drummond had that 1 year at UConn, he was terrible. He was the worst free throw shooter I've ever seen. He's worse than Shaq, which is I can't believe possible.
That's almost impossible.
Yeah, Hasheem Thabeet actually played 2 years. You know. Yeah, UConn is lucky.
UConn
most of their guys played 3 years. No.
Yeah, it doesn't have a lot of guys. You guys did have Shabazz Napier, who I loved. I know he's a 4-year guy, but Shabazz Napier was probably the coolest name in history. But let me just get to so Brianna, you're a college student, okay? Now I know like you said, your boyfriend plays football and all that, but it's not. We're not talking about the same level of athletics here. Being a college student, what do you find this one and done rule? Do you feel like you're in college to get an education, or do you feel like you're okay with them coming for 1 year and making money and March Madness, woo, and let's do what they want to do, or what's the deal there from a college student's perspective, which is actually why I wanted to bring this up, because I wanted to see what an actual student who's in college now who follows athletics has to think about this.
I guess I'm on both sides of the spectrum when we're looking at it. I don't like the one and done, and I would rather, the kids maybe follow the same rules as football, stay in school for 3 years. But at the same time, if they have the potential coming right out of high school, going into the NBA, why not just let them? Like, we see all these players now. Like, obviously it worked out for LeBron. It worked out for Kobe. So who's to say that, this kid coming out of high school, graduating this, well, that too, especially. But who's to say that somebody graduating next month who has all the potential in the world can't just go straight to the NBA? Why waste their time if we know that, class really isn't going to be attended, they're just going to skate through academics. What really
well, we know that 9 months later they're going to be in the NBA draft anyway. Yeah.
Well, the problem with that is a crapshoot, because for all the Kobe Bryants, you have the Kwame Brown. So it's like it's a hit or miss.
Jane
O'Neal. Really is. Yeah. You have these idiot kids who listen to too many people who influence them to tell them to think they're great, but these kids have no guidance. I think it's a lot of the problem too, and they listen to too many agents, and the agents tell them they're the greatest player in the world, and they come out and forget it.
Well, the NBA high school draftees, okay. We're looking at this here, and I'm looking at, let's see, players. Some of the most notable other players. All right. Oh, okay.
Dude, Kwame Brown went number 1, out of high school, and he was horrible.
Kwame Brown? Oh, yeah, he was awful.
Yeah,
he wasn't ready. He did not look ready.
Right. That's the problem when you take these high school kids.
Okay, so apparently...
If they're not good enough, they sit on the bench for 3 years, and they
don't
never develop.
41. There were 41 players that went from high school to the NBA. I mean, as far back as, guys you won't even know.
Moses Malone was the first one.
Corleone Young, and Duty, Ibby. I mean, guys you're not even going to probably know who they are. None of which really were anything but role players. Leon Smith, James Lang, who?
Oh, James Lang. Oh, Robert
Remember
Swift?
James Lang?
Oh.
Jonathan Bender, Desaga
Jonathan Bender
Diop.
was okay. Oh, Diop.
Yeah, Desaga Diop. Robert Swift.
Yeah, he was a top 10 pick.
Swift was, and he only averaged 4.3 points and 3 rebounds in college career. In his NBA career. And he was like a top, I think he was like a top 7 pick or something.
Yeah, Seattle. The Celtics passed on him. Oh, thank God.
There's buddy Kwame Brown.
There he is. Number 1.
He's number 83.
Michael Jordan drafted him, by the way.
Well, here's what he said as. It's sort of unfortunate that Brown finds himself on this high on the list. He was able to enjoy a lengthy and modestly successful pro career of 12 seasons, 7 different teams. 12 seasons, 7 different teams. The fact remains, however, that Brown was the top overall pick and was anointed by Michael Jordan as the next big thing back in 2001. Though Brown had a nice pro career, he never came close to living up to the expectations as a top overall pick, averaging only 6.6 points and 5.5 rebounds per game throughout his course in the NBA. I mean, come on. Here's another guy, Sebastian Telfair. He was a Celtic for a while.
Oh, he was terrible.
Oh,
he was a Celtic.
Telfair.
Oh, he went to Garnett.
He was a legend coming out of New York City? He was the next great New York City point guard.
Yeah, Lincoln School in Brooklyn. Yeah. Yep.
Didn't work out too well.
We're talking about the Knicks here, right? We're talking about the Knicks here. Now, Jeremy, you're a Celtics fan, right? Not a Knicks fan?
Yes, I am. Yes, I like Celtics.
Okay. Well, but you know some players and some things and whatever, right?
T. Jigger Brown. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh.
You know what? Eddie Curry is another one.
Oh,
who?
Eddie Curry was another player for the Knicks.
Too bad. He was not horrible, but he wasn't superstar, Tyson Chandler was better than him. They were both out of high school. You guys remember Tyson Chandler?
I do, yeah. I thought he was still playing.
Yeah.
Still playing, isn't he?
I think he is still on somebody. I don't know what team he's on, but
let me pull this back up.
Like I'm saying, there is an exception to that rule, man. You got a lot of these kids that come out, and I think that the college was trying to help these kids, at least a year to get them ready, but it just doesn't seem like it's worth it to me. If the colleges can put money in their pockets, they don't give a rat's ass. So it's like, you can't do anything about it. How are you going to change that? If the kids try to come out, they'll probably file with the courts about their rights or something like that. It'll just be a disaster. So it's just there's no way to fix that. No way.
It's like this now, though. Players who, if this rule was in place back when some of the bigger, some of the bigger players were on there, guys like Barnes, Jared Sullinger, guys maybe could have went on a high school, chose to go to college, but have decent careers. But you look at Kobe, guys like LeBron. LeBron already said he would have went to Ohio State had it been in play. Okay.
I think Garnett was going to go to Michigan.
I think so. Yep. And Kobe would have played at USC. Now, let's look at this. Let's look at this. Okay. You would have had 3 players. It would have been Kobe Bryant, Vince Carter. Okay. And can you tell me the third?
Your mom.
Well, that's
is correct.
she does basketball. No, actually, I wanted you to because I just honestly couldn't remember, so I was hoping maybe you'd. But let's see, Vince, teammate UNC.
Antoine
this
Jameson.
Okay. So Antoine Jameson, Kobe Bryant, and Vince Carter on the same squad in college had they had this rule back then.
That's insane.
Yeah. So it would have been the 97-98. Yeah, it would have been the 97-98 Hills team.
Oh, they would have won it all. Oh my God.
And this is what I think is weird is that there was no have to go rule. Okay, back when Michael Jordan played. And everyone's talking about how Jordan is arguably, I think anybody with a straight face could say with no qualms that the best player of all time.
Right.
He went to college. He didn't leave after 1 year. He went.
No, he played 3.
He played 3, yeah. So, yeah. I don't know. I mean, this whole thing it's a big crapshoot, honestly.
Right.
We're gonna jump out of NBA real quick, and we're gonna sort of go into the NFL season is coming up, guys. Now, Jeremy, I know you
yes.
You hate whiny, cryy, baby, bitchy people.
You bet I do.
Sam Bradford.
Oh God.
Has he lost this locker room right now?
Absolutely.
I mean,
absolutely.
One NFL player had strong words. He said he makes him want to throw up. But it just what is going on with Bradford right now?
He doesn't want to be there, and you can't trade him with that contract. Who the hell's going to take him on? Cleveland?
Well, even Denver, who needed a quarterback at the time, didn't want to take him.
No, you're right.
It was too expensive.
Yeah, but I don't think he realizes when you say something like that, everybody's going to hear it. We're in the digital age now where you can't get away with anything. Everybody's got a camera on their phone. You can't not hear anything. He's going to have to work his tail off to even try to get that locker room back in shape because they're not going to trust him. If Carson Wentz outplays him in the preseason or in practice, he's done. He's done. The Eagles are on the hook for all that money, but they'll bench him for Wentz if Wentz is better. It's just sad to watch, right?
Well, I'll tell you what. On this morning on NFL.com, Kevin Patra, I believe, posted this morning about 8 a.m. Says, I'm going to read it here. He says, Jordan Matthews of the Eagles, quote, when asked about the Sam Bradford asking for a trade, says, quote, if I'm cool with it, then everybody should be cool with it. I'm still running for his butt. You know what I'm saying? Look, if I want to be here and I'm happy with it and we can go out there and just compete, that's all I want to focus on. That's all that matters. Then Malcolm Jenkins, safety, says, I think you learn it after year 2 when you see first-round draft picks get cut. You see each week they're working out new guys. You see veterans that are franchise players get cut. You realize nobody is safe in this business, and that's what it is, a business. So they're coming out backing Sam Bradford to some extent. So that's a little bit,
some players weren't. I mean, some players saying it makes them feel like they want to throw up, but
Michael Bennett had some rough things to say. Yeah,
Bennett will probably saying some of that to cover their own
anyway,
asses,
Yeah, Bennett's kind of a douchebag anyway, but no.
Yeah.
Now, I think that the next thing that's going to happen here, and this also ties in. I'm going to get back to Sam for in a minute, Jason, but I think you Patriots fans, Brianna and Joe, you guys have had some issues in the past with, what was it, the tuck rule? You've had some issues with.
I have no issue with the tuck rule. What's the issue?
You've had issues with getting, every call in the history of mankind go your way. So the NFL.
Oh yeah, sure. Except for the ones that didn't go in our favor. Okay.
Hey, you didn't get one.
Like the Super Bowl against the first Super Bowl against the Giants.
Joe
Eli Manning in the grasp. No,
the NFL changed their. They changed a rule in the rule book because of the tuck rule. So I mean, the have been in.
Yeah, but at the time it was a rule and it was called correctly. So.
Yeah,
it was
it
a shitty rule, but it was called correctly at the time.
The reason I bring it up is you guys read about NFL. They are actively trying to change replay stuff.
Yeah, what does aggressively mean? What are they talking about?
What are you going to change?
What are they going to be yelling and high-fiving about it? Like, what's aggressively reviewing it? What are they talking about?
No.
Maybe they'll get on a horse and start throwing footballs at people.
No, they can get Ray Lewis in there to pump him up with a speech. They aggressively review it.
The refs aren't going to be aggressively reviewing. I'm saying the league is aggressively reviewing the current process at the moment. And basically,
I got it.
The 5
So what are they going to do? Review every friggin' play now?
Yeah.
That's what I think that happened because the 5 worst words you can hear as a football fan are the play cannot be reviewed. The current play cannot be reviewed. And those are the worst. Those are the worst calls. You're like, what the hell? That was a whatever. It was, and you're screaming at your television, and like, it's not a reviewable play, bro. I'm sorry, So now they're looking at certain egregious things. Basically, no, they're not going for every single play and do that. No, they're not going to slow the game down like that. What I'm saying is they're going to look at instrumental things, safety, and grounding and pass interference and things that change the courses of games. The ref is they're going to be a little bit more aggressive about getting more camera angles, more eyes on it, basically.
How can you review a pass interference? Oh, come on. Ugh.
Well, basically, they throw a flag, and there's no challenge. They're basically going to be able to look at it and have headsets and be told, okay, throw the flag, that's pass interference. Don't.
Are you serious?
Really? So they're going to be like,
come on.
Wow.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
That's what they want because the element of human error. Take the element of human error out of it. Because human error now has cost.
Yeah, you're not going to need a referee anymore. You're not even going to need a referee anymore. It's ridiculous.
Look at Des Bryant getting screwed ago on the catch. I mean,
I knew
take
that
human
was
error
coming.
completely out of it. Yeah, you do. And Calvin Johnson before him, and
true.
the Raiders with Tom Brady. I mean, look at it. What happened? I mean, and basically every team the Patriots have played. I mean, these teams get screwed right. And I had to do it. But yeah, so and I definitely think that there's going to be camera angles now. So once the needle goes into that little thing on the ball, they'll be able to have a bit different camera angles on it, so that they'll be able to tell if somebody's pumping air in or pumping air out.
Are you serious?
No.
Are you making this up?
No, that part of it, I had the ball. But
good Lord.
What's going on?
So you're a Deflategate truther, aren't you, Chris?
Who was your guys' first round draft pick, by the way?
Shit.
Oh, here we go. Oh.
How's Tony Romo's shoulder feeling?
I'm pretty sure
is he playing? Is he going to play this season?
I'm pretty sure.
Is he going to make? If you guys make it to the playoffs, is he going to choke again?
Is
he going to fumble it on the goal line? Like, what is? I mean, really, Tony Romo? Dude, I like Romo. He's a good quarterback, but you got to admit he sucks in the playoffs.
Wow. Here we go.
You have him as your leader. But good luck going anywhere with him. Jesus.
Yeah,
I love it.
A Cowboy fan ripping the Patriots. That's the irony of it, man. Like the Cowboys, dude. There's like a wealth of material to humiliate any Cowboy fan. And if we had more than 40 minutes left, I would do it. But
absolutely,
it's so easy, dude. It's like you have a bullseye when you're a Cowboy fan. There's a ton of stuff, dude.
Well,
Jeremy, you're a Giants fan.
I'm glad I like the Giants.
My buddy's a Giants fan, and he put on my wall last night one of those spoof things, like how they have those spoof things on Facebook. And he says, Tony Romo arrested in North Carolina for using men's bathroom.
Nice.
He put that hilarious. On my wall. And then you read the whole article, and the whole article was just about how, North Carolina banned the LGBT thing. Romo decided to use the men's bathroom as a woman and this and that. And I was like, oh, my God.
Did he fall and break his collarbone on the floor?
I didn't. I got through the headline. And nope, I'm done. In fact, Brianna's a journalism major. She'll know these terms. I read the headline, I read the lead-in, and I wrote about half of the nut graph, but I didn't get to the conclusion because I just was right. I was just like.
The only term I don't know there is nut grab.
I like that.
No, graph, not grab. Graph. It's graph.
For another show, Chris. For another show.
Yeah. They call it nut graph because it's basically that's the chunk of info in the middle of the article. You've got your headline, which draws people in. Yeah, do it. You've got the headline that draws people in. You got the lead-in sentence that makes you want to read more. Then you've got your nut graph, which is all the nuts and basically your information. And then you've got your conclusion, your lead-out.
Your outro.
Yeah. Well, not yeah. I figured if Brianna was paying attention in journalism class, she probably would know those terms. But I don't know. Who knows? She's busy over there. She's too busy over there.
Is she still here, or is she back in her room?
I'm still here.
All right. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm better now that you're on here.
Aw.
Oh.
This is not a dating chat line.
Oh,
Easy.
I am married, for God's sake. She's like young enough to be my kid. Holy Christ.
No, not quite. Man. Not quite. What are you, 35?
Close enough. Yes.
Oh, well, it's okay. Don't think too bad. She could be Joe's granddaughter. So I'm looking at this and
graybeard over here taking shots.
Wow.
Good old graybeard. Yeah.
Kristen was born like 1995. Give me a break.
Me? I was born in 88, bro. 88.
I know.
I'm an 80s baby. I was born during Red, damn it. So
congratulations.
Yeah, that's true. So, Brad, let me ask you then. I'm gonna switch gears here. When you go to the NFL and sort of rookies making impacts and different things, is there a rookie right now that is on your Patriots team that you see coming in and making a first-year impact?
The corner we picked up from Alabama. I think he's going to be perfect. Yeah.
Okay.
I think he's going to be perfect in that secondary just because they're all, for the most part, young, but at the same time, he's still got Patrick Chung and McCourty to, get him in gear and get him involved. But he's not, the young one out of a group of guys who are all vets. I mean, Malcolm Butler is still
You guys still have
really
have
young.
Chung?
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
Patrick Chung out of Oregon. I always thought that was funny. I saw him get drafted. I see he's a black guy. And I'm like, oh, I was expecting an Asian. I mean, tell me this sounds racist. I'm sorry, but I was expecting an Asian.
I think he's like both.
Yeah, he is.
Is he part?
Yeah,
part
I think
Asian?
so. Because he's not
but
he's not dark black. He's
a Blazin? He's a Blazin?
No, he likes
Blasian.
He likes the
Asian,
Wang Chung tonight.
Hey-oh.
Wang Chung. I actually had a joke about that, but I'm not going to say it on air because we won't. We'll get a lot of hate mail.
Great.
I definitely. So look at it this way then. The Patriots, New England Patriots, this season, we all talk about how great Gronkowski is. Okay, and girls like Brianna say, "Oh, how hot he is." Now I know she thinks Brady's hot for whatever reason, but she shares the same sentiments as Giselle, I guess. But
please,
Gronk can catch the football. He can run. He can knock people over. But I don't know if you guys saw this on the internet or not, but Gronk is not the best ballet dancer in the world.
Oh, did you see that? Oh my God, I saw that last night. Oh, that was not a pretty sight. Oh, that was brutal.
I mean, he's a meathead. Meatheads aren't supposed to be ballet dancers, really. They're not. But I almost felt bad for the dude. I was just like, bro, okay, you got your party videos on beach, shirtless, popping the champagne, fist pumping. Cool, okay. Stick to two things you're good at, Gronk. Being a relatively good-looking dude with your shirt off and partying and playing football. Okay, don't put it into ballet dancing because you're just not coordinated enough, man. You
seem to say that with a little jealousy, McKinney.
Yeah, a little bit, because because ballet, I can't do any of those three, so that's why.
Why do you keep bringing up him without a shirt on? Do you want to see that? Like, I don't get it.
Every time, is it me, or every time you see Rob Gronkowski photo in the off season, he doesn't have a shirt on?
That's true. Yeah,
that's pretty true. Yeah, he's pretty proud of what he's.
I've seen
him
better.
If he doesn't have a Patriots jersey on, he's shirtless. That's basically what it is.
You're right. Pretty much his wardrobe, then Patriots jerseys or nothing. So that's all he's got.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's all I wear. All I wear is Giants jerseys and nothing.
I bought a striped.
Don't get excited.
I bought a striped shirt the other day. It was mine Hernandez jersey. But
wow.
So yeah, well, hey, I had to take shots. You know, what can I say?
Should we even talk about the Cowboys in the 90s?
Leon Lett. Do we have to talk about Leon Lett?
Did Michael Irvin have a cocaine problem?
Who was the guy who got busted with 300 pounds of weed? Was it Leon Lett? I think it was.
Leon Lett.
I think it was. Was it Lett or Nate Newton?
Nate Newton. Yeah. What was he doing with 300 pounds of weed?
He came over the border. He came over the border from Mexico. Here's exactly what happened. I actually got it pulled up on here right now. He comes over the border from Mexico with a Ryder truck filled to the brim with marijuana.
Attaboy.
Yeah, a Ryder truck.
Brilliant.
And
Brilliant.
He gets pulled over shortly over the border. And, cop pulls him over, and he goes, what do you got in the bag?
Why did he pull him over?
I think I don't know, speeding, something. I don't know. He was doing something.
Smell it.
Yeah,
something stupid.
Smell it from miles
pulls
around.
Pulls him over, and he goes, do you know why I pulled you over? No, blah, blah, blah. I told him. And then he goes, so you got anything in the back? And he goes, no, man, I'm just, I'm moving and doing this. And he goes, no, seriously. And so he goes, no, he goes, I'm moving and I got this and that going on. And he goes, I saw you I watched you come over the border, like, what's in the truck? And he started pressing him. And Nate, sweating now, goes, yeah, just he goes, just a little bit of weed, no big deal, officer, just a little bit of weed.
Oh my God,
a little bit.
Did you realize that was
so the
putting
cop
up
goes,
the floodgates?
Yeah. So the cop goes,
Jeez.
you have a little bit of weed. And he goes, yeah. He goes, look. He goes, I'm not going to arrest you over a little bit of weed. He goes, but I am going to have to take it from you. And Nate's like, yeah, man. He's like, no problem, man, no problem. He goes, can I open the back? And the guy's like, yeah, whatever, man, no problem. Opens up the back, and the cop opens the back of the truck, stands there for a second. Well, actually, I think it was more like a couple of minutes. Walks back up to the window, and he was like, yeah, Mr. Newton? And he's like, yeah, what's up? He's like, you're going to jail. and then he tried to get out of it. He was officers like, you want some? Like let's smoke a blunt.
And a deeper hole.
Yeah, he tried to get out of going to jail by offering the officer some marijuana. So I thought it was kind of funny.
I've heard that works. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes. Or what happens with me, and this happens, like I cry.
You cry and offer services.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes I flash the officer. It depends on if it works. So. Brianna, what do you do? Do you cry when you get pulled over?
Who, me?
No, Brianna. Do you cry when you get pulled over?
I've gotten pulled over once, and I tried my best to cry. I could not do it. So I kind of just sat there in like that awkward stage between not really crying but not crying.
Only once in your whole life?
And what happened? Did you get a ticket or did he let you off?
Yeah, did you flash him?
No.
This
was right after I got my license, so I figured that probably wasn't the best idea because I would have gotten it taken.
Good point.
Yeah, probably.
I was driving to volleyball practice on Route 7, and he clocked me going 75 miles an hour in a 45, which is impossible.
Wow.
Impossible because I drive a standard car, so I was only in fourth gear, and my Jeep in fourth gear can't go past 45 miles an hour.
Nice. So you peeled it.
Yeah,
good for you.
I was like, there's literally, like, if you want to come test it, there is no way my car could have gone that fast.
Did you argue with him?
No, I tried my best, but he was this, like, big hardo, so he was like, I can't let you drive. Like, you need to call your parents.
Whoa. I didn't know that I pulled you over.
I was like 20 minutes away from home, and I called my dad. I was like, "Hey, Dad, I'm gonna need you to come pick me up because I just got pulled over for speeding." And he was not happy with me.
Oh, here's the thing about cops in Connecticut as well that I've noticed.
Oh, they're the freaking worst.
They don't have to be marked.
No,
they can just.
This guy
no,
they're
here too.
Silver sedans. They're just
silver
sedans that look like any other
Look
car.
out for the Fords. They're always Fords, unmarked Fords.
The state police have gray unmarked cars. I see them all the time on the highway in 91.
I see them on the Mass Pike here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Brianna, what was that?
He was sitting in someone's driveway in an unmarked car with all his lights off.
Scum.
There you go. That's how they get you.
I'm like, are you kidding me?
They pull over in random dark places so they can't.
Well, I know now to look. I know now to look when I'm in Massachusetts because you look for the Ford Escape, whatever that is, whatever the kind of blue with navy blue in Massachusetts. So I know what to look for with those cars. I actually come to learn a lot of the headlights and what a lot of the headlights look like.
Oh yeah,
definitely. Yeah.
That's a good skill to have in your rearview mirror to know who's behind you. Yep.
But you know what? You know what pisses me off, and I guess this could be listed. We didn't have a grind my gear segment for today.
Jerry Jones.
Sometimes, every once in a while, yeah. But I guess if I really wanted to, I could use this.
You know what really grinds my gears? You, America. You.
It's these people that drive. Okay, Crown Vic vehicles. Okay, they drive the old. That's the name of the old cop car, like your stereotypical cop car. People who drive a Crown Vic and then fucking drive up on your ass and like, oh shit. Okay, I'm like all paying attention. Like I'm not doing anything wrong. But every time you see a cop, you're like, Jesus, okay, and you're like paying attention. All of a sudden, the person comes up and gets around. And it's just like some normal dude sitting there smoking a cigarette, and you're like, God damn it, like get a different car, and or like every time I see a blue Ford Escape on the Mass Pike, I'm like, oh geez, okay, here we go, because I have an unpaid ticket in Mass that I got a ticket in Mass before that I got a ticket in Mass for something stupid. I had like a taillight out or something, and I figured I'm not back here enough to ever have to worry about paying this. And then I get the job at Becker as the play-by-play guy. So now I have to go to Worcester every Saturday in the fall. So I'm very paranoid driving through Massachusetts now.
Just pay the damn ticket, man.
I don't even know what it's for or where it is. Anyway. Now, I think Brianna and Jeremy will agree with this, too. One of my projects when I was at Connecticut School of Broadcasting was I did a story. You remember, Jeremy, at CSB we had to do our final newscast?
Yes.
Well, I was one of the on-air. I wasn't an anchor, but I was one of the on-air reporters.
I was the sports reporter. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I wanted to do that. Oh, do you know who our sports guy was?
Oh,
no,
God.
Yeah, but then my... Grody. But anyway, my story was good, so they wanted me to be like the on-air reporter kind of a thing. So anyway, it was on Connecticut is ranked out of what 30. Let's see. You know what? I'm gonna pull up right here. They're ranked like 57th out of. Excuse me. Yeah, right around there. I'm trying to see here. For transportation infrastructure.
What the hell?
Yeah. And let me pull it up here. Connecticut.
You put that on your TV final?
Transportation infrastructure. Yeah, I got it right here. Yeah. No, I'm not looking at Google. I'm looking at my final here. I'm just trying to find some of the things here. Here it is. Okay. Connecticut roads. This was post. They rank among the worst in the nation for their roads. Okay, and reading this it was actually quite simple. It says Connecticut state roads are the roughest in the nation, and the bridges are far behind, ranking third worst in the U.S. It says 41% of Connecticut's 21,000 miles of roads are in poor condition, and 35% of the state's 1,500 bridges are deficient or obsolete. They also Rhode Island is Connecticut for the worst roads with 41% in poor condition, followed by New Jersey and California. So looking at this here, they also say that not only are the roads, a lot of the roads with potholes, and a lot of the roads always have traffic, like there's also always a lot of traffic.
Oh God, yeah. Oh.
No, I don't know if it's the same down where Brianna lives, but I'll pick up where Jeremy is. It seems 84 always backed up.
Oh, it's the worst. 84 is the worst. I never go down it anymore. Oh.
84.
I live in Manchester now, so it's.
Oh, you're in Manchester.
Yeah.
I was over in when I was at CSB. I was staying in. That's in Farmington. I was staying in Southbury. In Southbury.
Jesus.
So
yeah,
because I stayed at one of those extended stay motel things. It was a Crown Plaza. I have high taste. So I was at the Crown Plaza, and so I was coming up from Southbury every morning, and
Jesus.
always.
Oh, you were down 84? Oh my God.
Straight down 84 and straight up there. That's all there was. 84 from Southbury to Farmington.
It's the
16,
tunnel,
exit 7. Boom, boom.
Nobody knows how to drive in that tunnel in 84. There's like a.
You gotta go under it. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to go through the change, and people don't know how to friggin' drive in a tunnel. It's the worst, especially when it rains. Traffic. It's every day like that. From like 3:30 to 5:30, it takes you an hour to get home. I don't have to do that anymore, thank the Christ. But it's ridiculous. You're right. It's ridiculous. There's always some kind of construction or somebody gets into an accident. So it's every day. It's never going to change.
Let's shift back to sports here for a second, but let me just ask Brianna first. Does Jeremy have a point here? Does Connecticut have terrible traffic and bad drivers and bad roads?
Yeah, actually, all three. Bad roads, especially down where I live. You can't go more than a mile without hitting at least 5 potholes. It's unreal.
Oh, that's terrible.
Oh, wow.
And then we're like right on 84, but you have to go on a lot of back roads to get to certain places because 84 just doesn't hit it.
Mm-hmm.
And even the back roads, there's more traffic there than we would ever see on the highway, even during rush hour. It's ridiculous, and there's
terrible.
No other ways to go.
You can't go any other way. Yeah,
right.
Screwed.
It's
what
awful.
kind of car do you?
I have a Jeep Liberty, so I can like handle the potholes.
Oh.
That was my old car. I had the Liberty Limited, the 3.7 V6. Oh, I missed that car so much. I had the.
I'm pretty sure that's what mine is, actually.
Is it stick?
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. See, I missed mine. Mine was real quick story time, and then I got to get Jeremy's take on our first topic before we jump in. But I had my Jeep. I brought it in with 107,000 miles on it to get an oil change. I loved that thing.
Wow.
And and they were pouring coolant into it, and the coolant was coming out and hitting the bottom, hitting the floor. So basically, my heater core was shot. Yeah, my core was completely shot on it. And nothing had ever gone wrong in that car other than every once in a while the electrical, like tail would go out or something. But there was no real problems with that car at all until that happened. So then I ended up thinking, okay, fix a 107,000-mile car or get a new one. And I ended up getting a new one. So I have a Jeep. I just don't have my Liberty anymore, unfortunately. But I've only ever driven Jeeps. It's been the only car I've ever owned, so I love Jeep. And the fact that she drives stick, she's already awesome in my book. She's a great writer and a great contributor to the site and the show. But the fact that she drives a stick-shift Jeep, oh my God, no! I don't even want you guys here next week. It's just me and Brianna next week. She drives a stick-shift Jeep.
Oh, come on!
We're friends now. Anyway, so Jeremy, in the beginning of the show here, I know you had something to do. We were talking about the NBA draft lottery kind of being like a little bit of a sham. But before we get into the draft lottery, the New York Knicks, okay, they're set to hire Jeff Hornacek as their head coach.
Yeah, I saw that.
Now let me tell you who is out there. Kurt Rambis, Vogel and Blatt.
Yeah.
And they're going to bring in Hornacek. Just wanted to get your take on this real quick.
Well, I don't know what the hell Phil Jackson's doing. He might as well just come out of retirement and coach his team himself. Derek Fisher was not the right fit. I thought they would actually
go after Luke Walton, but he went for the greener pastures in
He's
LA.
gone.
Yeah. I mean, listen, Hornacek's not a horrible coach. I mean, he was 101, 112 in 2.5 years with Phoenix, but I don't know if Kurt Rambis is exactly the answer. Frank Vogel was, he was okay. David Blatt was basically a scapegoat for Cleveland. So their options weren't exactly great, if you ask me, but I'm not sure if Hornacek's ready to handle the media out there. Coaching in Phoenix, coaching in New York is two different ball games here. So I like Hornacek as a coach, but I don't know if he's ready for the spotlight.
I think Joe and I sort of came down to the conclusion that we don't necessarily think he's all that great of a coach.
No,
I mean, he had Jordan and those Bulls teams and Kobe and Shaq teams. I mean, I could have coached those teams to championships. I mean, those were teams that were teams. That those weren't weren't anything really to do with the coach.
Yeah. Yeah, but the coach has to have a say in some kind of thing.
A monkey could have coached those teams to a championship.
Oh, come on, a monkey. Jesus.
Emerson Alexander could have coached them to a championship.
You got to have a coach that's got to set some kind of ground rules, keep the game structured, or else everybody's going to kill each other if they don't want to. If everybody wants to share the ball, you got to have somebody in there to tell you what to do. You know,
you guys are insane. That's crazy, man.
Malice in the Palace.
Oh, that's true.
That was awesome, by the way.
Oh, you're sick.
It was absolutely the most awesome sports thing I think I've ever seen in my life. So
that's terrible.
No, it was awesome, man. I mean, Ron Artest just and then Jermaine O'Neal just sucker punching that fan.
Jesus.
Oh my God,
that was
amazing. So, what did the Celtics do with their third pick? Did the Celtics trade their third pick here, or did they keep it?
Well, listen, the Celtics Danny doesn't get it. This team never gets the number one pick. They tanked all those games in '97 to get Tim Duncan, and that never worked. They have no luck with this. Past Simmons and Ingram, there's nobody great in this draft. This might be the worst draft I've ever seen. If you go past those two, they're terrible. What are you going to take? Buddy Hield? What's he going to play? The shooting guard? They don't need that. You know, they have all these picks in this round.
Take my buddy, the 6'6" point guard, Malachi Richardson. He's
please. You know,
yeah, Malachi.
I feel like they're going to trade this pick. They'll package a couple of things. Maybe they'll take some guy and then trade him for somebody. I don't know. I've heard DeMarcus Cousins rumors. Who the hell knows? Al Horford. I don't know. I would trade it. There's nobody worth it this year.
Yeah, totally. It's the
Terrible.
3 pick. I mean, what are you going to get for it, though? You know?
I know.
Draymond Green.
Draymond Green. No. Listen,
the
if
one
Ainge
draft
wants a home run, Ainge wants a home run, and he'd give up half of these picks for somebody like Durant. I mean, I don't think Oklahoma City would do that, but if you really want to turn this team around, they're only they're maybe 2 players away from contending for a title. But
do you think Durant would come to Boston?
I don't think so. Nobody wants to play for Boston. The only reason they got Garnett is they traded him, and it had to take 6 hours of convincing from Paul Pierce to get him to stay there. Athletes that play basketball in Boston is different than being a baseball player. Nobody wants to play in Boston for basketball. It's not a great destination for players. I think they're trying to get him.
It's a nice
city. I know.
Yeah. It's a beautiful facility. The TD Garden Center is beautiful.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I think they're trying to get them to come now. I think Brad Stevens is an excellent coach. I think he gets it. He knows what they want to do. He and Ainge are on the same page, but it's like you need the damn players.
Right.
And I don't know what they think they're going to get this off season. Like they're going to have to trade for somebody. No free agents are coming here. You have to trade for Durant or Cousins or somebody like that because nobody else is going to come here.
Well, I think that, Jeremy, I disagree. I think that nobody wants to come to Boston stigma is starting to fade a little bit.
It's starting to go away. Yeah,
it's starting to go away a little bit.
It's not like it was, right?
Why do players choose to go to particular teams? There's a few reasons, right? The money is going to be the same. In the NBA, the money is generally max contract is a max contract. I know I know there's some difference, but the money is usually around the same, right? So not a huge factor. Who are they playing with?
That's a big deal now.
Yes, right. Since the decision and all that stuff, that's become a much bigger thing. Right. And the chances, and who's the coach? what's the environment that they're playing under, and they want to win championships. They do. You got to give them that. They want to win. So if you look at Boston, okay, you've got a team that is on the come. It is. They are improving. They've got the point guard, a young point guard, who needs to work on his distribution game. I get it, but let's say you're Kevin Durant. You say Kevin Durant would never come to Boston. I'm not so sure. What's Kevin Durant's motivation? That's what we don't know. We knew
that's half the problem.
LeBron wanted to win as many championships as he could, so he went to the nearest possibility to make that happen.
Right.
Well, Durant probably wants to start winning championships because if he doesn't
not
get it
getting
this
younger.
year, exactly. He's in the prime of his career. If he wants to put together a Hall of Fame resume here, well, whatever. If he wants to start winning multiple championships, he's got to start doing it soon. So
I think LeBron
Durant
should
might
come
be
to Boston, right?
Oh, please.
Well, I'm a Celtics fan. Obviously, that would be great. Yeah, but you got to. Where else is he going to look at to win championships? Where is he going to go to win a championship soon?
Toronto.
You need a big three now, because the Celtics got Garnett, Pierce, and Allen. A lot of them, they put their egos aside for the good of the team to win. That's what what Miami did with LeBron and Bosh. Bosh was a 25-point guy. Wade was 25, and LeBron. So they kind of did that. So it's like I agree.
I think I know what happened.
That. Yeah, well, they won a title, but it's like.
Well, no. I think I know what happened. I think a free agent got off the plane, got a rental car, and then tried to drive in Boston and was like, nope, screw this. That's probably what happened.
He's like, F this, I'm out of here.
Drive down Lansdowne Street. Oh, my God.
And then they're like, hey, you know what? I'm going to go check out Connecticut. Oh, sucks to drive here, too. So, yeah.
That's not funny.
So, I don't know. It all kind of depends upon
why don't I go down to New York, a state where they know how to drive?
Oh.
Oh, yeah, right.
Give me a break.
New Yorkers are good drivers.
So don't write off Boston as a destination for free agents completely.
Yeah,
No,
I would.
I'm not. I'm just saying that it's like people it's over time. Things have changed now. So I'm not saying they won't come here, but it's like I think that their track record isn't helping. But now that they've been successful the last 10 or 11 years, I think the people get it. But it's like, what are you going to give? You're going to give Durant 5-year deals, max deal. Nobody knows what they're going to do, and you got to get in these players' heads. Listen, I like Danny Ainge. Okay, I think he's doing a good job, but he's got to hit a home run now. It's time.
Yeah. He's got to do something.
Pierce is not walking through the door anymore. Listen, I like Isaiah Thomas, but he's not the point guard of the future. I think
you don't think so, huh? Why not? Why not? I'm curious.
I think I think he's a great scorer, but I thought Marcus Smart was going to be their point guard. I like Avery Bradley, but they need somebody in the middle to clog up space that can shoot. You're not going to win.
Player.
Yeah, you're not going to win with Amir Johnson up front and Kelly Olynyk and Jay Crowder.
No, hell no.
They're great complementary players. If you get Cousins in there, maybe even try to get Al Horford, I'd be happy with those two.
Yeah, go
ahead.
Where do you stand on Cousins? Because that's kind of you've been hearing it. I've been hearing Cousins.
Yes.
What do you think? It's very divided. Yes. What do you think?
I like Cousins. I like Cousins as a player, but he's like one of those clubhouse cancer guys.
Right.
He just doesn't get along with people. If he got George Karl fired practically twice, which I'm stunned because George Karl is one of the best coaches ever. He just doesn't get along with people.
Do you think if he came here, he'd bring that cancerous attitude too, or do you think he'd shape up a little bit?
I think he would change a little bit because, let's be honest, Sacramento sucks. They ain't going anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Boston's a winner.
They're dysfunctional. Yeah.
Right. And, and they can bring in people even get Garnett to talk to this guy and say, listen, cut the bullshit. You want to win. You're in a place where you can win. This is your time. We're going to market you. You're going to be a star here, And I think he would get it. I think Brad Stevens is a good enough coach where he would relate to him, and they have these complementary young players like Thomas, Bradley, Sullinger, Evan Turner. They would play well with him, I think. I just think it's him checking himself at the door and taking a look in the mirror and say, listen, if I want to win, I got to change. And to be asked me, it shouldn't be that hard. Don't you think so, Joe?
I agree. I totally agree with you. I think I'm probably looking at this with green-colored glasses. I understand that, so take it all with a grain of salt.
Right.
But everything you just said, Jeremy, I I couldn't have said any better myself. I think someone young like Cousins and talented like him, he needs, unless he's just a complete friggin' rotten piece of crap. Yeah. If he's not, and he's malleable, he can come in here and reform his image a bit, play with, like you said, a coach who can relate to him, a youngish coach, and he could be the man. He could be a superstar here, and he could potentially win. Put another piece. If you put Boogie Cousins in the middle and a wing player around him, maybe you've got
definitely.
You've got a team that could definitely compete. Certainly, as the East is constituted. So I would take Boogie Cousins in a heartbeat because I think that there's an opportunity for that to happen.
Right. You can't turn down 25 points to 12 boards a game.
No,
you know what kind of offense that adds to the Celtics, who lack it, if you ask me? Oh, I love the guy. Yeah, but there's some guys that learn to check their egos at the door. This guy needs a change of scenery. I hate using that word, but it's true. Mm-hmm. They needs to get structure and discipline. He didn't have that in Sacramento.
Exactly.
That's why the Kings are the Kings and the Celtics are the Celtics. Listen, the Celtics are most. Now they're most. Prideful NBA prize. They won all these NBA championships, the most of all time. Why wouldn't you want to play here? I don't get it.
It's a great town to play in when you're winning. You are a friggin' superhero. And I love your point about getting someone like Garnett or Pierce to pull them aside and say, hey, man, when you're in Boston and you win, you're at the top of your sport. You're a friggin' superhero.
Yeah, he needs
You know what really grinds my gears? You, America. You.
I love it.
Jason is with us. And Jason has a grind my gears that he was so adamant about last night that he wanted to he wanted to spill the beans on Facebook last night and talk about this. So Jason, we've got the crew with us here. We've got about 8 minutes left, and then we're gonna get a quick grind my gears from everybody. But what is bugging you so much about the New York Knicks that you would just have to get this off you?
I am officially done as a New York Knicks fan.
Wow.
Phil Jackson. I could deal with
Dolan's to the green side.
I could deal with Dolan's idiocy, but Phil is purposely sabotaging the Knicks. He lied to Carmelo. He lied to Carmelo. He lied to the media. He lied to the Knicks fan. We thought he was a Zen master. He's more like the con artist master.
Whoa!
Whoa!
Bro.
You're gonna get Jeff Hornacek.
We were just talking about Hornacek here.
Yeah.
We were just talking about Hornacek. We talked about passing on Rambis, passing on Vogel, passing on Blatt. And we've got Hornacek now as your new coach, who I didn't even think was that great of a player to begin with as a coach.
Oh, he was all right.
And he's their new guy.
But you know what? Just like Derek Fisher, he's still the best point guard of the team. That's a whole nother issue.
Well, Jason,
is he going to run the triangle?
Well,
he doesn't have to.
It says that he's not going to be forced to. It says he has his offensive system from Phoenix. Three-point shot, heavy, fast-paced.
Yeah, but you remember what happens when somebody brings an offensive system? You remember what happened with Mike D'Antoni when he brought his offensive system
right.
His defensive system. He brought his defensive system from Phoenix to LA. Remember what happened
that
there?
worked.
So I don't like people bringing systems into different things. But yeah, so Jason, so you think it's time to give up on the allure of Phil Jackson, huh?
Yeah, he's got to go.
Oh man.
I have no words right now. I can't believe what I'm hearing.
You said that there was 2 grind my gears. That's one. What's the second one?
I guess the second one would be never not take the day off before you going away on a trip.
Oh yeah, that's a good call, dude.
Oh yeah, good move.
That's why.
Yeah.
That's
you need that day to get ready, bro.
Yeah, that's pretty much why I missed most of the show.
Are you going? Wait, are you going away on a trip?
Yeah, destination wedding.
Oh, how cute.
Wow.
Okay.
Nice. Thanks for inviting us.
Yeah, Dick. But
I wasn't going to say that.
But I'll be back for Off the Ropes. I'll be back for Off the Ropes on Monday.
So you're not going to make Sunday. That's cool. No worries, though. No worries. We can hold it down. Now, real quick, anybody have anything that pissed them off this week? I'm always interested to hear Brianna's because usually they're food related, and I love food. Anything that piss you off this week, Brianna, or no?
know. Actually, yeah, that's a lie. There's a lot of things that pissed me off this week, as usual.
Your boyfriend?
No, he's been good this week, actually.
Good for him.
This week, okay.
Good. I guess I'm with my second job. I work at a Men's Warehouse with my mom, and it's prom season, as everybody knows.
Oh boy.
Prom moms piss me off.
Oh, heads up.
Jeez.
Don't say that. I'm on my way to Men's Warehouse to pick up my tux.
There we go.
See, look at that.
Synergy. I love it.
You know what? Go to the one in Danbury, Connecticut.
Yeah, right.
No, Westport.
Ask for Brianna's mom.
Yeah, okay. Go to Westport, Connecticut. Go see Brianna. No, so okay. Prom moms can be. Yeah, I have a friend I went to high school with. She's a hairdresser, and she said she hates this time of year because the girls they want their hair a specific way, and then you're like, no, that's not going to look good. And they're like, no, I want it this way. You put it up that way and it doesn't look good, and then it's your fault. You know, and it's just like, and then they're like, oh, I want this, or I have to have that, and oh, it has to be perfect, and you have to do this, and man, they're very demanding, and it's like, yeah, I can just imagine how that would be. Although I don't know, you had your prom, you remember what your hair was, you know, you have to make sure everything's perfect, so you can sort of put yourself in that perspective, right?
I had hair at my prom.
For my senior prom, they didn't even put my hair appointment in the book. I walked in there and they were like, "You don't have an appointment," and I was like, yeah, I do."
Oh.
I do now, MFers.
She does the whole thing. Does the whole thing? We do the 3 snaps and the head move, like,
right.
Oh yes, I do
now.
You know, yeah.
Move
coming in with the 3 snaps. You know,
the air Z, yeah.
I've gone to get my hair done basically my entire life. So they had the normal secretary had a baby, so she was out. So the interim secretary had clearly had no idea what she was doing, and
get rid of her.
She wrote my appointment down a month too late.
Yeah, it's useless.
You're a hoot.
So I learned something. I learned something today. Then I'm not even in school anymore, and I've learned something today. Apparently, here we've got about 2 minutes left to go, but apparently I've learned that the intern secretary at Brianna's hair care facility in Connecticut just about as confident as Phil Jackson. Just about as confident.
You bet.
Around the same. So Phil Jackson and intern secretaries for hair places are right around the same skill level.
Too funny.
That's an epiphany that I just had. That's an epiphany I just had. I've also learned Jason is no longer a Knicks fan.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, I'm shocked about that. Now, hopefully the Giants do something crazy so he comes to the Cowboys side. Doesn't have to be a Giants fan anymore either. And then who else do I like? Let's see. Celtics, Cowboys, basketball, baseball. Oh, well, he's a Mets fan. I can't knock him for being a Mets fan. Although I would prefer he were a Yankee fan because, you know, quite frankly, I feel like the Mets copied our pinstripe look, but I won't go there.
Here we go.
And
wow, that's nuts.
You're a sore loser, Mick sucking.
Sore loser, 27 world championships as being a sore loser.
Oh,
anyway,
yeah, you were an integral part of all of those, by the way.
5
They
rings,
couldn't have done it without
27 championships. Boston, the Celtics have the most rings. I like success. Okay, the Boston has the most championships of any NBA team. The Yankees have the most of any baseball team, and the Cowboys are tied for second place. I like success, damn it. You can't knock me. You can't knock the hustle.
Then you really got to get off the Cowboys wagon one of these days.
Yeah, somebody wake me up when
Chris
Chris
comes
comes back to reality. Oh.
Are you about to say that you like the Canadians too because they have an unreal amount of Stanley Cups?
Right.
Nice call. Come
I don't
to
really
the
care
Patriots
about hockey.
if you like winners.
I don't really care.
Come to the
Yeah,
dark
but
side.
hockey is hockey. I actually, funny story is I was living in New Hampshire, and that was the year that the Bruins won the Stanley Cup, and I didn't really care about hockey, so I was like, oh, I'll root for the Bruins. Worst decision of my life. I wish I could get that back.
Oh, you're a jerk.
What's your problem?
It really
You're
was.
a lousy person.
I can't do it. I can't.
You can't. I just figured out why the Cowboys suck. It's because of you and your stupidity. That's why.
2 playoff games in 20 years. Yeah, they're winners.
Very true. Very true.
Yeah.
10 seconds left. We'll see y'all on Tuesday, episode 7.
I love you, Joe.
We made it this far. I
Later,
feel like we're
Jeremy.
in Star Wars. We've made it to
Be good,
episode
Brianna.
7. We will be back.
Goodbye, everybody.
We'll see you then.
We're here.
Out.